Thanks for coming over.
So what are you learning in the briefing today?
We're learning that the administration doesn't want to take responsibility for the tens of billions of dollars that they've allowed to leak into China, meaning the oil that has been flowing from Iran and has been feeding the Iranian machine that now has launched against Israel.
Are you putting forth any sort of solution or encouraging the administration to take any actions?
Well, there are a number of actions that we are looking at. One of them is to codify historic sanctions into law so that they not be an option for the administration to simply ignore. Many of the successful sanctions were ones that were done by executive order, and this administration has chosen not to. According to undisputed reports, as much as $60 billion of additional funds have been made available to Iran. And when you look at the cost of 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 rockets that are they're going to fall from both Hamas and from Hezbollah onto Israel, you have to say, where did that money come from? And it almost exclusively comes from Iran.
Do you have confidence that the current deterrence against Iran and Hezbollah is going to hold?
I have no confidence in this administration's willingness to do so. Their desire to restart the JCPOA and similar programs, their ongoing negotiations, and in fact, having their lead envoy be compromised and having his clearance revoked for what appears to be a reason of conflict or compromise, all tells us that they're not serious about holding Iran accountable. We appreciate their request for funds to help Israel after the fact, but those billions of dollars would likely not be necessary if we had continued a policy of strict sanctions against Iran, something that at least our side of the aisle intends on pushing for, and we believe will be bipartisan, that those sanctions get back in place and that they not be ever lifted again as long as this remains a terrorist state.
Are you learning any more about the timing of a ground offensive in Gaza?
I was able to have a conversation with one of the highest-ranking Israeli officials here in the United States just a few hours ago, and it's imminent, but they are doing it in a way that maximizes the ability to predetermine the areas they hit and to minimize the loss of life. I think both for the hostages that were taken, but also for innocents that need to be evacuated, including Americans. Israel is showing a great deal of restraint, and we obviously want them to do so at a time of their choosing. I think the important thing that's being conveyed is this is not an assault to simply hit a few targets. It's clear that Israel, under the Netanyahu government, has to flow all the way through Gaza from one end to the other and ensure that they not be able to launch any offensives in the foreseeable future. And that's really a clearing out, building by building, of the weapons of war and the machinery that produce the weapons of war.
You talked about the hostages. Does that at all threaten them? I mean, if you're going building to building, do you think that there's a better chance of trying to find them then, or is there more of a chance that they could be harmed in that process?
The Israeli Defense Force is well aware that Israelis, both as hostages and as IDF soldiers, will in fact lose their lives in the process of clearing out Hamas's vast weapons capability. That's something that the people of Israel are committed to. I was a very freshman congressman when the Ariel Sharon, the late prime minister, made a determination to completely withdraw from Gaza, all settlers, all troops. And now, for the 20 years since that, or 17 years since that withdrawal, Israel has allowed the people of Gaza to control their own destiny. And unfortunately, it's meant that there are as many weapons plants there as anywhere else in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.